My head's not where my head should be. That's it. That's nearly headless there. Anyway, hello, good afternoon, evening, morning, night, ladies and gentlemen and children. It's very nice to have you all with us. So appreciate it. The weather is so ropey here, it's horrible. So it's as if it was winter, to be honest. Anyway, today is the start of a new project, but I just wanted to run through the last project that I did, which was this. Can you tell who it's going to? She was so complimentary about it, and I know she likes things like this. And she's such a lovely lady. So I've made this for Janya. It's just a little book, and it was just to show how to use some of the Tim Holtz Chapter 3 release Sizzix dies that he released a good few months ago now. And we all went mad for them, and we all had to have them. And then it was like, oh, what do we do with those then? So I've made this not in a Tim Holtz sort of style at all, really. I have started another one that is, very, very Timmy, sort of grungy and what have you. But this one, I don't think you could call it grunge. We'll just have a quick flick through it, and then we'll get on to what actually is today's project. Well, today and several weeks to come, I think. So I've left that blank. You can add another piece of anything to it, anything at all, journaling even. Here's the first envelope. It's got a little journaling card in behind that rose, and then tucked into there there's a little tag that suggests that you need to pull something, so it's got that little journaling card inside. Here we've got a belly band made with a piece from the Chapter 3. These tickets aren't in the Chapter 3. You do get tickets, but they're single ones. That was just a double. I had that die. I've never used it before, to be honest. And then in here there's a little journaling card with a number. The arrows are from the Sizzix release. On the back I've put a Tim Holtz salvage tag, and in there is another little journaling card, also from the die set. Then this one, probably my favourite one, with the slide. You can probably see it better that way on, actually. It's just the slide out of the Chapter 3 and the file folder. And I've just popped a little pin on there because inside it there is an accordion pocket. Just a quick and easy one. It wasn't a tricky one to make. And I've got the smallest paper clip in the world on there. This side similar goings on. There I've used some of the alphanumeric theory set that was part of the Chapter 3 release, which I love. And that's a journaling card. There's quite a lot going on in here, actually, which is good because it took me a week to make it. There's a little tag inside there with birdie on. And on the other side we've got these, this is lumberjack plaid, 3 little flowers on a little journaling card. Here we've got another envelope, a little journaling card in there, prize ribbon, which is part of the die set. Then in here, what have we got? Oh yeah, just a little journaling card. Get in. That's got nothing to do with the die set at all. I cut that just to size myself. And here at the end we've got another one of those file folders with the slide on it, the bird, which is a different Tim Holtz die set, another little accordion pocket, and that is the back. These words, collect and filed, they are from the die set. It's a fabulous set, actually, and the more you use it, the more you can see ways that you would want to use it. So that is Janya's little book. I put lace down the spine because I know she likes lace. So little flower, blah blah. There we are. I shall post it off to her, but probably after Christmas, because I don't want to run in the risk of getting stuck with all the Christmas stuff and not getting anywhere. And our postal service is rubbish at the moment. I mean, really bad, because the postmen keep going on strike. And, you know, I'm all for fair pay for everybody. I really, really am. But it just makes it difficult trying to send things to people before Christmas. So that's Janya's little book. And I'll pop that down there. But today, the announcement, I nearly said major announcement there, but that might get me into trouble, is that we are going to take a book, a whole book, nothing taken out the book. It's it's not a brand new book, but it's an untouched book, unsullied. And we're going to make ephemera out of the entire book. Not going to stop until every last piece has been used. Even if we have to use it on a baseboard collage, whatever it is, that's what we're going to do. So what's the book? What's the book? Is it a dictionary? Is it... What do you think it is, Mr. F? What sort of book do you think it is?
It's probably one that's meant for me, so it's probably a picture book.
A picture book. Well, are you ready, guys? Here we go. This is the book. There we have it, and I'm sure you're all very familiar with this. It's Mr. F brought it to me in the week. He'd been charity shop shopping again, and he found this one, and it's absolutely pristine. Nothing taken in, added to it, nothing at all. So I'm going to use this book right until there is nothing left to use. And it will take ages, because I'm not going to do it every day. I want to do another how-to in between all of that. So the first thing, I guess, is how do we take it apart? Because if you just go tearing pages, it doesn't work so well. You need to find the thread, where the threads are. And if you keep opening it up, you will come to the page where the threads are. And somewhere I should have a... Yeah, well, it wouldn't be in there, would it? That'd be altogether too easy if my quick unpick was there. Is it there? Oh, various places where sewing bits are. But I think I put them all in one place. Yeah, I don't know where they are. I'll have to use scissors, which isn't ideal, but... So I'm just going to cut these threads that actually bind those pages in. Time will tell whether we've cut... There's usually two threads. They are so tight. See if I can open them up a bit.
If you like.
A quick unpick is the absolute ideal thing. Thank you. Do you want a scalpel or something? Oh, my hand fell off. Hello. So we have an extra camera today. We have sewing cam, which is quite exciting. I did make some ephemera earlier today. Where's that gone then? And I have my sewing machine on my desk, which means I haven't got as much room as usual. Yeah, I started with a different Edith, the one that had been gone through before. And I just made some pieces of ephemera, just to start us off, really. I thought there was a tag as well, but yeah. Here we are. So I made a tag first off, and I used bundled sage to go around to ink it, and I didn't like it. Actually, my first plan was that I wasn't going to ink it or stitch it at all. I was just going to produce the raw things, and then whoever ends up with it can ink it to their colours, can stitch it if they want. But it's not quite that straightforward, is it? Because on the likes of this, if I don't stitch and ink that now, it becomes really tricky to stitch and ink it later on. So I decided I would ink them and I will stitch them. So the ink that I'm using for this is frayed burlap. Happen to be using the oxide, the ink would do fine. And frayed burlap, boy, where has that been all my life? It's a fabulous colour. It's light, like tea dye is light, but where tea dye has that sort of orangey undertone to it, this is brown, and I really, really like it. So let's just go back to pulling these pages out, which Mr. F's kindly loosened for us. Oh yes, there we go. So once you've cut your threads out, they should just easily come out. This one might be the front one. Yeah, it is. I don't think I can. This is glued into the front because it's the front cover, but that's what you get. So that, look at that page, it's my favourite in all the Ediths. And this as well, I mean, that's really useful as well for a pocket or something, that could be. And all of this, don't throw it out. Get yourself a box. I've got myself a bit box here on the go where all the bits that are cut off will go into. And then we'll have that for later on when we come to collage. Yes, collage. So I'm looking for the next threads because I haven't got very much off there. And I don't know if I can cut these or if I need to pass them to the maestro. No, I think I can possibly cut those ones. Like I say, if you've got a quick unpick, it's much better. But I have temporarily mislaid mine. For those of you that have been watching through the week, watching me make Johnny's little book, I have found my tab top die. It's been on the missing list, but I found it. Well, Mr. F found it, should I say.
Do you want to do them again?
I think I'll be alright. I think so. Looks a bit dodgy, but I think I might be alright. So I hope everybody's doing well. I know some of you are coping with COVID in the house, which I know isn't easy. Some of you aren't so well yourselves, but carry on crafting, I say. It's a good thing to do. If I'm too ill to craft, that means I'm really ill. I'm just pulling this away and cutting through the threads that are left. There we go. Right. So this takes out all the double pages. We won't ever be using that, so you can tear them into the pages if you want. But let's just get this section out. Then we've got quite a few bits of paper to work with that we can choose between. Yeah, yeah.
Bernice.
Hello, Bernice.
Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Chestita.
Hello, Chestita. Hello, Sophia.
Sylvia. Hi. Roz.
Hi, Roz. Hi, Jim.
Keong.
Hello, Keong. Hello, Matt, in case you're watching.
Tam.
Hi, Tom.
Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Mike.
Hiya, Mike.
Gonnie.
Hello, Gonnie.
Linda.
Hiya, Linda.
Kerry.
Hello, Kerry.
Misty.
Hi, Misty.
Jilly.
Hi, Jilly.
Louise.
Hello, Louise.
Shaz.
Hi, Shaz.
Carol.
Hi, Carol.
Bonnie.
Hello, Bonnie.
Dolly, who goes under the name Scrap Scrap.
Hello, Dolly Scrap Scrap. That's a good name.
Corrine.
Hello, Corinne.
Stella.
Hi, Stella.
Let's see who's jumped on.
Rhoda. Hello, Rhoda.
Rhoda.
Debbie. Did we have Debbie? I don't remember Debbie. Hi, Debbie. And I think that's it. If we missed you, put it in big block capitals. Right, so I've got all these pages. That's loads. That's probably, you know, going to take me forever to do. But I think I'm going to start with this one because it's a nice, easy one. And it's an obvious one. But it's just a straightforward pocket. Now, I'm surmising that most people's journals are one piece of either A4 or letter folded in half, which would then mean that you'd want to be about, what's half of A4? 11 3/4, isn't it?
A5.
Yeah. Let's get my ruler out. So, Oh, I haven't got markings on here. 11 3/4 divided by 2 is 5 1/2 and 3/8, so 5 7/8. So if you said about 6, but in the States your paper is 11, so half of that is much easier sum, it's 5 1/2. So let's just see if that, yeah, that there measures 3 1/2. So that's great, we can get that and a little border around it and make a pocket out of that. So let's do that. It's a nice easy entry into the world of using this. And then we'll still have that, but we'll put that in the collage box, because sometimes it's nice to have just a cream place, you know, restful place, or you could stencil it, stamp on it, or whatever. So I can't, yeah, let's cut that down this way first. So in order to make my pocket, now this I know for a lot of you is yes, yawn, we know this, but I see the people that apply to join the group, and there's so many of them that are new to this. So I'm just going to go over this, really plod through it for those of you who are old hands at this sort of thing. So I want my pocket to come to the top of that line, the top of the writing, just above it in fact. So I'm going to get my ruler and I'm going to place that on the top of that writing. And with these Tim Holtz rulers, they've got marks on them, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4. So I'm going to get the 1/4 inch lined up with the top of that writing. Now that's where I want to fold it there. I think that'll look nice. But I just want to add on another extra bit so I can fold it over to give this top edge a bit of strength, because that's where everything goes in and out. So you want to have a bit more strength there. So that was 1/4 inch above it, so I'm going to draw a line 3/4 of an inch above it and cut that off. So let's do that first. That's 3/4 there. You can, people that have been doing this a while, I'm sure you can do this by eye. So that's where we're going to cut it, then we're going to score it there, and you'll see what happens later on. Now, in the US, your paper is 8 1/2 tall, ours is 8 1/4. So for a pocket, I would have thought 3 inches, 2 1/2 inches, something like that. Now that takes me right into this. So I either want that all in, or I don't want any of it in. I think I'll have it all in. So that's going to take me to 2 3/4. 2 3/4 from that line we marked there. So I'll cut it there. Let's do those cuts first. I need to also, I should have said, allow an extra 1/2 inch there for folding over, because we are going to make gusseted pockets. Yes, gusseted pockets. So that's where I want to trim that off. So let's trim those two off. Hopefully they're something like straight. I don't actually think that one is, but never mind. So you just line that up with the edge of your trimmer, the edge of the metal bit of your trimmer. Trim that down. And then move this along to where that line is, which is there. Trim that down. Now this is collage fodder. It's not scrap. And even this is not scrap. So pop those in your scrap box. And let's see where we want to cut now. So probably I'd like this to measure about 5, I think. And the centre's about there. So I'm going to make a mark.
Younger Judy is shouting gussets.
Gussets.
They seem to like gussets.
It's such a rude sounding word, isn't it? So I think that's the centre there, about there, in between those two words, of and an. So just let's just draw a line down there. Let's just make life easy if we can. And then I want to draw 1/2 inch up, and that's quite tight to the bottom of that, but not over it. And I'm going to score along there. So now I want 5 inches. My centre line's there, so I want 2.5 this way, 2.5 this way, which takes us to 5 there. Let's draw that line there. And then I want to allow 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch to turn in for my gussets. Yes, we're having gussets today. So I want that at 1/2 inch, so that's just where that metal bit starts. So cut that 1/2 inch here. So get your line where the metal bit. There we go. These are scrap. I'm happy to concede they are scrap. So there we are. We have the makings of a pocket. So what do we do now? Well, get your scoreboard if you have one. If you don't have one, take your ruler and take something like a tea knife, you know, a knife that you'd use for spreading butter on scones or sweetbread or whatever it may be. Don't take a steak knife to it or anything like that, because you'll tear the paper. You want something blunt. I've got my scoreboard, so I'm just going to pop that in, and I'm going to go around 1/2 inch where those lines are, around the whole thing, all of it, the top as well. So 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. You see, we're going through those lines that we made. That's good. That's a good sign. 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. There we are. So I've scored all of those. Now, just for future reference, when you're scoring, when you make a valley like that, so you've pushed the paper in, that gets folded over to become the mountain. Okay, valleys make mountains. That's all you have to remember. So I'll just get my eraser and erase these lines before we go any further, because otherwise they'll be in there for life and they'll be very annoying to whoever ends up with it, I imagine. I love the paper of the Edith books. It's really lovely. But sometimes it does need a bit of help, you know. You have to back it onto something if you're making a tag. For example, it's just not that sturdy that you could make a tag. I wouldn't anyway. Some people do. It's up to you. Right, so that's that cleaned off. Right, so now let's see how we go about putting the pocket together. Get some scissors. Now, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, there you can. You've got a cross there in the corner where your score lines have crossed. So take your scissors, cut right up to the centre of that cross, and then out again at another angle like that. So you're looking for an angle like that. And do the same on all 4 corners, right into the centre of where your score lines cross. Like that. Don't think that's right into the centre. There we go. So obviously I'm not keeping these scrappy little bits. So let's have a look. There we are. I mean, I crunched that way. I didn't mean to, but it'll be fine. So now I'm going to fold over the top edge, like so. And when you fold it over and start with your thumbs in the middle and move towards the edge. Because if you start at the edge, at one edge, by the time you get to the other side, it will have gone off straight. It just will. Whereas if you start at the middle and go across like that, you've got every chance of getting it really straight. This is going to be a really nice pocket, isn't it? So I'm going to get my... No, I'll glue it down first. Let's glue... This is the only bit now that you will glue down, this top edge. And as I say, it's just to strengthen the top edge. So once again, centre and out. And if you've got any glue, it'll come out as excess glue or whatever. So that's that. Let's just put the lid on the glue. Let's just take the bone folder and just sharpen that up. There we go. So all we have to do now is go around all the other sides, folding them in as I showed you, folding them in on all 3 sides. There we are. And I'll just run my bone folder down them just to sharpen them up. Give a nice finished edge. There we are. So that's going to be our pocket. Does that look square? Don't tell me it's not square. I think it's not far off. Right, so what I want to do now is ink around this, and as I say, I'm using frayed burlap, and honestly it's gorgeous. I absolutely adore it. It's brown. It's definitely of the brown family, but it's light. Like, all I can say is it's like tea dye, but without the orangey bit, because tea dye sometimes can be a little bit orangey. So there we are. I've inked around it. Now what I want to do is sew around it. So before you put it onto your paper or anything else, you stitch around it. So I've got my sewing machine here and we're ready to go. So I'll just move my stitch over to there. So I've got brown, I'm using brown thread. One more. So I'm going to sew over the bit that we folded down on the top. Further reinforcing it. One more. So if you've tried in the past to do dressmaking and stuff like that, you couldn't get on with it, this is the time to get it out, because I'm telling you, sewing paper is so much easier. It doesn't stretch, it's just easy compared to dressmaking. Sorry. Oh, it's... Well, I've almost finished sewing anyway. Perhaps a message came in or something it didn't like.
Oh, yeah, that's the point. I never thought to turn off.
Yeah. So there's that. I've sewn around it in brown, so it's quite obviously sewn around. I did sew around the pieces that I made this morning in cream, but to be honest, it was a bit of a waste of time because you couldn't see it. So I'm not going to leave my straggly ends like I normally do. I'm going to cut them off because I don't think Edith is a straggly ends type of girl. So there's our pocket. If you are the person that ends up with this, you might want to fussy cut something and put it there. You might want to stamp some.
That's it.
Are we back?
Yes.
Sorry about this, guys. We're trying to be too flashy. So yeah, you can stick this onto your page like that. And if this is the edge, if this is your spine and this is the edge, that's great. You can pop something in there, pop something in there. Great. This could actually also go that way. It could go either way. So if that was your spine and this is the edge, you've got these two pockets there. So that's a useful one as well.
Janya's joined us.
Janya, I've just been out through your little book. There you go. Janya's little book. I hope you like it. So yeah, we've talked about the tag. We've talked about, and tags can be various sizes because you always need different size tags in journals. So we've talked about those two, but you know, I will be making more of those for sure. But that brings us on to this one. And this, it is a piece of ephemera. It could also be a standalone.
Jen has seen the thing.
Yeah, I hope you like it. I'm not going to send it till after Christmas is over because the postal service here is in complete disarray. Let me see it again. There you go. No doubt who it belongs to, is there? And I think you've seen all the rest. I'll leave the rest for you to discover, really. There you go, you can add something to there and there. Well, anywhere you want to, really. And it's got some nice satin ribbon to close it up. I'm going to put some lace down there because I know you like lace. There you go. You're very welcome, Janya. You're just good to have around. You're good. You make everybody who knows you happy, and that's just great. So, right, we've got a pocket. Hooray, we've done something. So this piece here, I made this, and then Mr. F said, well, that's hardly really ephemera, is it? But I think it is, actually. It could be, you know, if you backed that, you could make that a rack. Definitely you could and send it. But it's not thick. Look, it's not thick. It's really not. So I think that this classes as ephemera. I'm calling it ephemera. And there's a fair bit to it, actually. I think I found this. I found the picture of it on Pinterest. But I think it was Mad Paper Crush that had posted it. So anyway, that slides out from under this thing here. It opens up. There's two, well, I've made them journaling cards. Make them tags if you want to, because there's two pockets in there, which I shall explain to you soon. There's a little pocket here. There's a little pocket here. Oh, sorry, here. There it is. And there's a big pocket at the back. So, assuming I can remember how to make this, and I've only ever made one, let's begin. So I'm taking an envelope. These envelopes happen to measure 8 3/4 by 4, almost 4.5. But they don't have to. That's the beauty of it. We are making all the ephemera that goes in it. You know, the tabs and the, not tabs, what you call them, journaling cards and stuff. So it can be any size you like, really. So the first thing to do is shut it up, seal it up. Let's just check that these, yeah, you see, sometimes these bits just aren't stuck down properly. Get up there. So I'm just going to stick that down there, and this one, and then I'm going to go around the edge here, and around the edge here, and that way then we've got a good seal on it. There we go. Fold that over. And so now, ostensibly, we've just got a double-sided piece of card. But it gets more exciting than that, don't worry. Right, so take your knife, take your trimmer, take whatever it is, and just cut off a sliver. It's not called a slither. I hear people calling it a slither all the time. It's called a sliver. Slither is what snakes do, so we don't use that word. So cut down there, cut down the other side. Just as a small amount as you can manage, really. There we go, so, you know, half or nothing. And then we have a piece. We have this.
A knackered envelope.
An envelope you couldn't use. Well, you could, but you have to glue it shut again. So then I folded up an amount, and that amount was... This is why it was important for me to make this morning. Wrong way round. It's just a touch over 2.5. It's actually 2 5/8. I don't know why I came to that measurement, but you know, I did. So, where's my scoreboard? Where is my scoreboard? It's behind there. So 2 5/8 seems an arbitrary amount, but let's do it. You could do it any measurement you like. There's 2.5, so that's 2 5/8. So I'm scoring it good and firm, and I'm making this valley into my mountain. So I'm folding it along the score line, like that. I wouldn't say that was the straightest in all of the land. There we are, let's just get my bone folder and go along there. There's like a gazillion steps in this one, but I actually think it's worth it. I really like it. Just put that in back to front. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to ink round everywhere before we do anything else, because otherwise it gets forgotten and you can't get to it. So I'm going to be using both the back and the front of this, so I'm going to just ink the back there a little bit. Most of this will be covered, but you know, sometimes you can just see the edge, can't you? And it just spoils it if it hasn't been inked, so we'll just take our time and ink it. I'll be grateful later on. So it's the same here. I want to do this bit here, and I also want to do the bit inside. There we are. So Jania's made it home from Nashville. I bet she's tired. She was working hard yesterday. Hopefully they provided a good hotel. Right, so there we are. We've inked all the way around. The next thing I want to do is cover this back. I'm going to have to keep looking at the one I've done because I'm not really au fait with it. So I've used text. I'm not using that until I absolutely have to because I love it. I used text in the one I made this morning. That's text, that would do.
That's the nature notes on it, did that one?
Sorry? Yeah, it says nature notes, but it's just it's not the nature notes one.
That's right.
Yeah. They would be quite nice, wouldn't they? Oh, I've got the moorhen on the other side though. He never gets used. It's such a shame for him. I feel sorry for him. Should I use him then? I've got to put two. I'm talking about this piece here, this piece in the back. And I've got to put two journaling cards in front of him so you won't really see him. No, I think I'm going to go for the leaves. Sorry, moorhen, I'm really sorry. So let's cut this.
No more hen.
No more hen. I'm just going to cut it in from the edge just a little bit. So I'm just going to mark that. And I want it I might as well use that bit there, haven't I, really? It's as good as any. So let's put that down to, it doesn't have to go all the way down to the where you've folded it, because you'll never see that bit. So I'll cut it off there. Right, so let's cut that. Let's tear this page off. It seems a bit kind of, I don't know, feels like I'm being rough with Edith, just merrily chopping her up, but you know, that's what we buy them for after we've looked at it 100 times. There we are, and then I'll cut this off along here. I'm going to pop, I don't think that's big enough, I'm going to pop those in my scrap box. My scrap box is going to be ridiculously large. In fact, some of it would be fine to make tags out of, I would have thought. So, is that the right size? Looks pretty much like it might be to me. Yep. Is it square? Yeah, that's fine. So, let's just erase that little bit of pencil. And let's ink around it. Then we'll stitch around it and sew it on. You don't have to ink, you don't have to stitch, you don't have to do any of that. I'm just doing it because I think I like inking around things and I like stitching around things. So please, it gladdens my heart to do so. And I think as a finished product it looks nicer. There we go. So let's, if you're going to ink and you're going to stitch, ink before you stitch, because it's difficult to get it properly around. What am I talking about?
Try sewing cam again, shall we?
Yeah, give it a go. What's happening? I don't think you can actually see much anyway, to be honest. I'm just sewing straight lines. Well, I'm trying to sew straight lines. There we go. So yeah, I mean, to me that just looks much better being sewn around. It looks more finished off, more cared for. I nearly chopped the corner off my thing. I could have hidden it actually, but I didn't anyway, so that's all right. Oh, not only did we not use him, we've chopped him in half. Right, the other thing that I would say to you to do, and I've said this to you, anybody...
Like in your model hand.
I know, it's good, isn't it? It's like one of those artist's hands that you can place into position so you can draw a hand. I do really like it. Mr. F, the reason it's here at all is Mr. F found a tab piece of my chapter 3 that I'd lost, and he placed it on my desk like that with the tab piece in it. So that's how come the hand is on my desk. It doesn't usually live there. Yeah, as I was going to say to you, and I have said this to you every time I've sewn anything, is go to the back and push your stitches down, because the action of sewing is the needle punching down through the paper, and it leaves punch marks, needle marks on the back. So if you do this, you get it flat and it glues a darn sight easier, I can tell you. So let's glue that into position. Let's go in there. Lovely. Whee. if you choose, you can do the whole book at one time, you know. You can take all of the pages, you can sort them out into the ones that are text, the ones that are pictures. I think I'd swamped by it actually. So I'm going to do it just section at a time. I don't even know how many sections there are in it, but that's the way I'm going to play it. Anyway. So just place that down where it's going like that. Lovely, 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 lovely. And so the next thing is this. So I need to cover this. Yes. Yes, I do, but I need to, yeah, let's cover it first, then we'll take the thumb mark out of it. I don't want to press on that too much. I'm just looking for some text. That's nice text, isn't it? So I want it to about there and about there. Let's do that and see where we're at. This is really nice close text. And I'm just going to treat the text as if it's a pattern. You know, no more, no less. I'm just going to use it as a pattern. Like I would any digi or scrapbook paper or anything. That's going in my scrap box. That's too good to go in the scrap box. So let's... Oh, I think I like that side better. Or that side. No, that side. Right, so I've cut this just a bit too long. I knew I had, but I was just kind of cutting it down to size, really. So now let's get it to the right size, which is about there. And I'm going to go to there. So I'm putting that mark on the edge, just in from the edge actually, and there. So that will be my piece. So let's cut that off there. Actually, let's do the long one first, or we'll end up having cut it off and not knowing where I am. There we go. And there, and... Okay, where are you? Oh, there you are. There we go. These are all bits for the bit box. We're going to have a lot of collaged papers, aren't we? Thousands of them. And this wants to go on there, exactly like that. So I'm going to ink it, I'm going to sew it, and I'm going to stick it. Told you there was quite a bit to this, didn't I? But I think it's worth it in the end. I think it's a nice, unusual bit of ephemera. There we are. Yeah, I'm definitely a afraid burlap fan, I can tell you. So I'm just going to stitch around here. So Jen and Mike, did you have a nice time at Reba? I was thinking I was really jealous of you actually. At the same time hoping that you had a lovely time, of course. Hope you got your cowboy boots out. And your check shirt. That's more Mike's thing, I would say, wouldn't you? Cowboy boots and a check shirt.
Yeah, and hopefully some cowboy trousers.
Right, so I'm just going to...
Linda wants to know, is the frayed burlap the oxide or the ink?
It is actually the oxide on this occasion, but if I'd come across the ink first, I would have used the ink. You know, it doesn't make much difference here. The main difference that you get between oxide and ink is when you add water to it, because the oxide oxidizes and gives that sort of cloudy look to it. The other thing, however, which is a major point, is the oxide is opaque, meaning that if you want to put it onto black card, you will see it on black, whereas you won't see the ink at all. It's just be like invisible, but the oxide does sit up on top of the black card or dark card.
Mike says it was a lot of fun.
Oh, good.
They're not big country fans, but Reba is a must-see.
Well, yeah, she is the queen. Well, her and Dolly. I'm a huge Dolly fan, huge. So I'll just run around that with a Timmy towel. Oh, I meant to do something, but then I didn't do it. I wonder if I can do a workaround. I meant to put a thumb notch in there. I could still do it, couldn't I, and just sew around it, I suppose. Yeah, you see this one, it's got a thumb notch in it, and that little keep goes into it. I could do it without the thumb notch. Let's try it without. Time will tell. So now I want a little pocket to put here, and this bit here will do nicely, I would say. So I don't want it that big. I want it, in fact, let's just cheat and measure this one, shall we? This one measures 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. So let's cut a bit that's 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. It doesn't have a gusset or anything like that. It's not fancy. 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. One and 3/4. I'm just going to use the grid because this line isn't straight. 1 3/4, and then I need it to be 2 3/4 tall. To there. Lovely. Right. We've got bits and bats and stuff everywhere. Okay. So I am, however, as small as it is, going to sew around it. But I am going to remember to put the thumb notch in there, because I think that looks nice. And it should match the thumb notch that's there. That isn't, because I forgot about it. Let's do that now. What's that? 1 3/8. So that's the centre there. So let's just make a thumb notch. I have to put a mark, I'm sorry, but all of you can do it without making a mark, but I just can't. I have to mark the centre. There we go. Ink around that bit. Yes, I can't recommend frayed burlap highly enough, honestly. I don't know why it hasn't come to my attention before now. It's just a lovely colour. See, if I was making a video, I could pause you while I do all this stitching. But on a live, it's kind of difficult to pause real life. It'd be a good trick if you could do it, wouldn't it? Right, now I've got to go around here.
says, "Dear Santa, I would like some free burlap ink. Love, Jen."
I don't blame you, it's fabulous, I love it. I'm not saying this is the best thumb notch I've ever done in my life.
We'll go to the museum of Fiona's thumb notches and
yeah,
check,
I mean,
we?
look, it's...
No,
oh, sorry, it's not...
just swap round without...
It's not great. Not great. Not great. But it is what it is.
The thumb notch equivalent of club foot.
Yeah, the ones I did this morning were spot on, but you know, that's just the way it is. Let's just flatten that out, then we can ink it into place. I'm not backing it or anything like that because it's just going to have just a little. Oh yeah, why is that too tall then? Anybody want to tell me why that's too tall? Why is everything going wrong today? Right. Well, I'm going to start again because given that that thumb notch is really rubbish, I think I'm just going to start again.
And Bayless says, "Hi,
Hi, Alan.
apologise for being late."
There's no food around on the naughty step, so you'll just have to go hungry. Let's cut off the edge here. There we go. So how did I make that so wrong? That's a good question. It is 1 3/4. 1 3/4. Okay, let's put that at 1 3/4.
Just Edith says she wanted the free burlap herself.
Ah, right.
And Mr. O said, put your glasses on and check the oxide ink storage box. And well, there it is.
I know. Honestly, I'm the same. I must have had it. I haven't had any new oxides for ages, so I must have had it quite some time.
Dolly says, "Wow, that's some great stitching."
Yeah, some rubbish stitching. This one will be better. It will be better. Please. Right. So that goes to there. Let's make a mark where I want this time. There. I don't know how come I was so far out the last time, but you know, if you've been watching my videos through the week, you'll see that it's not a new phenomena that I get things wrong. Quite the opposite. Right, so that's going to go there. Do you want to fit now? Yes, of course you do. Lovely. So let's take the thumb thingy out. So that now measures 2.5. So I can mark that at 1 1/4. That's where my thumb notch is going to come out. I'm just using an inch, my inch circle. There we go. Ink around it. You might think you've seen me do this fairly recently, but that was just a figment of your imagination.
Chestita says she now got lots of new toys, about 8 she didn't know she had.
I know, it's great when you clean up, but the only thing is you lose the things that you did have and use all the time because they've been there's other stuff on top of them, so you can't find, you know, your pencil or your scissors or whatever. Right, I'm going to make an attempt at sewing around this like properly. I made myself nervous now. don't dare go any faster because it'll go hideously wrong again. Oh, just moved it there in the middle of things. Oh well. Oh. Yeah, I've run off the side. I don't know how come I can be so bad all of a sudden. Never mind, I shall carry on from somewhere like where I left off. I honestly can sew. I'm not lying to you. I can do it. I don't know what that's like.
Jenny says it's because we're all watching.
Yeah, well, that's the only different thing. I can't even remember how my sewing machine works. I mean, that's... Yeah, that's it. It isn't perfect. It's as good as it's going to get today.
Just Edith says it's camera shy.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't. So that's all right. That's going on there. I have seen worse in my life. Probably not ones I've produced, however, but never mind. I'm going to throw that out. No, there's a nice bit of text on it. Keep it. It'll remind you of how bad you can be. There we are. Let's glue this down and then we can start making. So you only want it, this is a pocket, don't forget. So you just want to go round those three sides where the thumb hole is open. That's like something, a trick that I would do, that is. Forget, you know, put the thumb hole in, forget it and glue it down. So what's everybody busy making? Are you taking part in challenges or... I don't know what challenges there are around at the minute, to be honest.
Watching this?
Yeah, watching this. It is a bit of a challenge, yes. Yes, I accept that it's a challenge. Right, so that's it. We've got that done. So, what I want to do now is make this into a pocket, but I also want to keep this front bit here as a pocket too. So when it's down like that, there's going to be a pocket in the back and then this pocket here. Fancy. Fancy, Keon. So I'm going to glue up those two sides and then I'm going to put a little brad in them because... Is that right? No, that might not be right. So glad I made this one first. Yeah, I think I just put glue on this side. It's like Watch with Blooming Mother, this, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just going to put glue on that side. And I'm not going to put glue on this side because that's where my card goes. That's the bit that should have had the thumb notch in it. But given the pain that the last thumb notch caused me, that's not happening. Right, so I've got some teeny tiny... Oh, they're not teeny tiny. These are teeny tiny. See, these are small. These are teeny tiny. And I'm just going to get my mat out. And I'm going to get my pokey tool and I'm going to make a hole right through that corner. Pretty much where the stitching is, actually. Right through. So I can get my teeny tiny brad in there. Because that's... And this, I can't stick, you see, because it's going to have stuff in it. So it needs to be stuck with the brad. So about there, I would say. Right. Get the brads out. I do not know where I got these teeny tiny ones from. I wish I did. I would order more because that's all I've got left in the world. Which is, you know, when I get down to that sort of stock level, I usually start panicking about things. Yes, here I go with brads again. I never have any luck with brads when I'm videoing. Right, so I've got that in. I'm just going to turn it so the legs go up and down so they're not sticking out the side. Press that right down. Open your legs. Open your brad legs up. Like that. And then same on the other side, which is all really that's keeping this in place. So straight through like that. Open the legs of it up. Always when I'm videoing. And put those like that. That's great. So now you see this is held in place with the brad, and this just looks pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some masking tape. You can use washi tape, you know, whatever you've got to hand really. And I'm just going to put a little bit over the backs of those so nobody catches their finger on it and hurts themselves. Same on the other side. Our local shop that used to sell cheap masking tape has closed down. So we're coming to the end of our masking tape stash. I'm sure Mr. F will find somewhere. I don't know what that is there. Mr. F will find somewhere that sells cheap masking tape, I'm sure. Let's just cut that off because I don't know what that was. It was like a bit of dust or fluff or something. Okay, so there we go. Right. So we're coming along. We've still got that gap at the top there. We've got that gap at the pocket at the back, and we've got this pocket here between the, can you see? That pocket there, the pocket behind it, and this pocket in here. And we've also got a pocket in here. We have pockets galore. Right. What now? Well, let's make some tags and journaling cards and stuff. So I want a tag to go into there basically, just a smallish one. Have I thrown anything in my scrap bin that could make a tag for there? Yeah, what about that? That would make a tag. Anything else? Oh, there's loads in here that would make tags. Goodness gracious. That. Oh, it's been very casual this morning, wasn't it? Right, so I've suddenly got... Actually, these did not come out of the Edith that I'm using at the moment, so it's a bonus. Right, so I want this to be that sort of height, and I want it to go along to about there. Let's do that way, it's easier. To about there. Okay, let's cut that. There and there. Lovely. Let's just check that fits. It'd be nicer if it went in that way. Yes, that's lovely. Yes, yes, I like that. Just wonder if it needs to be slightly shorter, so it's going to get caught up in the doings at that end. So I'm just going to take a little bit off it, just a little bit.
Linda's got to go.
All right, Linda.
She's
Well,
going to re-watch her later in the week.
Oh, thank you.
When the frayed burlap comes.
Yeah, they're going to wonder why is everybody buying frayed burlap? We've been selling it for years, nobody bought it. Right, so that's going to go there like that, and I want to back it and stitch it. So I'm going to back it actually with this paper, which is Fabriano, and it's 160 GSM. The big tags and things like that, I'm going to use my 220 ivory card on, but I don't need that weight for little tags, decorative tags. I don't think I need that. Let's just get rid of the yoga mat. And let's just stick this on and then we can cut around it. And I might use that errant die actually that Mr. F found. It would be perfect for this. So stick that into place just in the corner there. And that's going to be our small tag. Then I need a larger tag. I'll just give that a second to dry while I measure up this tag. That's quite nice, isn't it? It's not quite long enough. That's quite nice. Oh, they're all nice. Of course they're nice. Yeah, I'll use this. I like this. So let me just square off that side. It's just a bit raggedy. Put the lid back on my glue. See, I started out with a perfectly tidy table. So I'm going to use it that way. It's supposed to go that way, but I'm going to use it that way. And I want it to fit inside here, in there. So let's cut it at a sensible width that we think will fit in. So about there and about there, I think. And the overall length, I want it to stick out of here about half an inch, a good half inch. So let's say about there. Let's do that and have a look at it and see. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to deafen you. There we go. That's really nice. I like that. It's pretty. Let's just see if that fits in there. That fits in beautifully and it sticks out just the amount I want it to. So we need to back that as well. That's nice as well, isn't it? Yeah, so we're getting extras here because this is from a book other than the one that I'm taking apart. So there's quite a lot of steps to this, as I found out this morning. So I'm just going to pop that along there and then at least I'll have one straight edge. There we go. Now I can cut the other one out and stitch around it. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, eraser. There we go. So let's cut the smaller one out. And I want to shape the top. I was dallying with using that tag. Yeah, I might still use that tag. Just leave that to set a second. Let's
have a brew.
Let's have a brew.
That's a good idea, isn't it?
And a throat lozenge before my throat dries up. Right, all I'm going to do is die cut 2 of these tops. I've lost the thing again. Oh my goodness, I don't dare tell him. There it is. This is it. This is the errant piece. So I'm just going to die cut a couple of those for this. It's a good time to go make a brew. What's the matter? Oh, I have my throat lozenges. I have them. Thanks. Right, so I'm just going to use my scissors because obviously it's big enough to fit on there. And this is a chapter 3, one of the chapter 3 ones. I'm going to cut 2 out. I might even need more, but we'll go with 2. I love my tiny tin. I love it so much. So there we are, that's just the tag for the top. And do another one. I'm cutting them out of the thicker card, the 220 card, so they don't go all floppy. There we are, that's 2, that'll do me just now. Put that back somewhere safely, where I know where it is. And, right, so that's going to go on there, but I think shall I stitch it first? I'll stitch it first and I'll glue it after that. Ink. Let's ink it. So we have managed to avoid the snow this week, which is unusual. If there's snow around, we normally get it because we're quite high up for this country. And other people throughout the country have been having snow, but we haven't had any. It's been so cold though that everywhere's looked like it's got diamonds scattered on it. Really twinkly, lovely, beautiful, but very, very cold. So let's stitch around here. Keeping Mr. F on his toes today. There we go, trim the ends off, and then I'll put my tab thing on it. There we go. Ink this a little bit. Tell me if you were buying these, receiving these, whatever, would you prefer that they were inked or not inked, or stitched or not stitched? Please tell me, because if everybody would like them not stitched, then there's no point me stitching them really. So which way is that going in? Where's my thingy? Here it is. I think that's going in that way, isn't it? Thank you so much, Mr. F. You are... Oh, in Sophia's coffee cup as well. Thank you. So it could go that way. I think that might be a bit long, you know. Well, we'll go with it. Tam says inked and stitched. Stitched and inked, says Janya. Inked and stitched, says Chestita. Catkin is messing with a video feed and sound. Oh, is he? Are we...
No, it's me slow on the clicker.
Oh, it's Mr. F. It's always Mr. F.
I'll make some adjustments to you later.
Oh, right, okay. So, right, I'm going to stick that on there. Just finish it off a little bit, won't it? I think this video is going to finish me off. There seems to be so much to do to this one little piece of ephemera.
That kid's in the kitchen having his tea.
Oh, is he? Right, let's see if I can get this on in the centre, or even something like the centre. So everybody's saying inked and stitched. Yeah, Bernice. So there we go. Not saying that's in the centre because it never is unless I measure it. Some rubbish at things like that. Right, so let's put that in there. So now I'm going to make the tag for here, and I've got that cut out and drying.
Judy likes the inked and stitched, but she can't do the stitching. She can only ink.
As I recall, you have a sewing machine under your stairs, or some nook, yes, some nook. That for ages you've been saying you're going to get out and give it a whirl. Because even if you just try tags or journaling cards or something, just to start you off.
Dolly says inked and stitched.
It does look better, doesn't it? Looks more finished. I do like this frayed burlap, I'll say for the 100th time today. Sorry to keep repeating it, but my goodness, it's the colour I've always been looking for. And there it was, right beneath my very eyes.
Carol, ink and stitch.
Thank you.
And Louise says she's got a sewing stamp that she puts stitches on with.
Yeah, faux stitching. It's good. Somebody, was it Judy that put a project? Somebody put a project in the group with faux stitching. Didn't half look nice. Right, so that's going to go into there. It is going to go into there, yeah, like that. And on there, we're going to have a little device. There's no end to this, is there? What time? It's 5:30 already. I think I'm not going to get this finished today. Yeah, so if that was going in a journal, what are we up to already? We're up to 5. Yeah, I don't really want to take it much more than that. 5, 5.5 would probably fit in. No, I'm not going to take that any further than that. What I am going to do is shape the top. Yeah, shape the top just like a tag. That's what I'm going to do. And I should have done that with that one, but I didn't, so I didn't. So I'm just using my old out-of-date driver's license that I've cut the corner off and I now use to shape my tags. So there we are, let's just ink down those slopey sides that missed it. Right, so now I want 3 bits of quite firm card, well 2 bits of quite firm card, which this file folder is definitely firm. It's going to break my inch punch one of these days. Yeah, like today. No, we're alright. And then 1 piece of Edith, just a kind of random piece really. That piece will do nicely. There we go. So I'm going to stick these together as you would for any normal button closure. So ink around that one, put that one on top. Just circle around and they'll lie properly if you just keep running them around your fingers. Then the Edith on the top. going for the text side, like that. There we go. Lovely. Now I just want to ink around there. Believe me, I'm not sewing around there. Oh, I haven't sewn around here yet. Oh, got that delight to come. I usually like sewing around things. It's just today everything seems to be going cockeyed. There we are. So let's have a quick squiz around here with the sewing machine. It's a good idea not to put stuff through your sewing machine when the glue's still wet. I'd like to say I never do it, but I'd be lying. But you shouldn't. There we go, cut the ends off. Okay, so now let's get the yoga mat back out. This is going where I showed you in there, like that. And then this is going to go there, and it's going to hold a flap down that comes over the top. So I want to make sure I've got that far enough in to actually hold the flap down, like this one here. So you can just do that. Now that would have been better if that had been that way a little bit, just to hold it. I mean, it does hold it, don't get me wrong, but it would have been more ideal if it had been just there and held at a bigger bite. So I want to make sure that this has a big enough bite, so I think that's about there. So I'm going to get my pokey tool, and we're not poking in the centre, we're poking at this side here, side of a circle, the top, there. I'm just going from bad to worse, so I'll shut up. So I'm going to put a brad through there, so just make it wide enough to get your brad in. One of these little ones so it'll match with the other brads. So through there, let's take this out, shall we? Be a bit easier. Through there. Just want it, that's it. So press it right down like that, and then a little bit of masking tape. Just on the back there. And you can, if you've got fancy washi or anything, now's the time to use it. Use your fancy washi. That's fine. I think that is all right. So let's put that back where it belongs. In there. That needs to come on the top like that. Yes. Okay, well, that's looking all right, really. So the next thing to do is the flap. I need to get a box for all my finished pieces, don't I? At this rate, there won't be that many, will there? Anyway, thank you, Sophia, for my lovely coffee and my beautiful cup. Oh, that's nice. Right, so the next thing we're going to do is the flap, which is this bit here. So I need something really nice, because that's the bit really that's seen more than anything. So let's go a-visiting the blue tits, shall we? So I need it to be that sort of size, so I can get all of those 3 blue tits in. I can't get him in, but I can get all of those in. Yeah, up a fraction. Where does he start? About there, I'd say. And I'm just going to remove my yoga mat. I'm going to draw around these. I think that's for the best. Because all my fancy measuring doesn't seem to be up to much today. Right, so let's have a look at what we've got. That's just perfect.
Tita says, Sophia says you're very welcome, Miss Fiona.
Oh, thank you, Sophia. I tell you, I'm still thinking about that beautiful journal that you sent Keon. It was so lovely, and she was so pleased with it. She's a lovely, just a lovely person. I don't know, I can't get that squared up, so I'm going to cut this edge. Then I'll have hopefully some square edge to go off. See, I've got that there that says coal tit and great tit, and that says blue tit, which I might use. Right, so now I think I can get this squared up. Wants to go there, I think. Now that's a point. Before you go cutting it, allow yourself a good ½ inch on the top, because it folds over. Blimey, good job I remembered that. So I'm allowing a good ½ inch. I'm actually just going to see if I can save that January, because you never know when you might want to use it. And then down here. Right, there we go. Oh, look at that. It's so lovely. I love it. So we just want to crease in that line.
And Tita says, wish you could all hear her on my headset. I nearly lost an eardrum just then.
Let's just try this for size before we get carried away, shall we? So that's there. Yeah, it might be marginally wide. That's okay, we can deal with that. Let's just give it a bit of a shave down this side, probably. Not much, it's not much. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to score down there where we put the line around it, and then that's a valley, so I'm making it into a mountain. There we go. Oh, I don't know where I was going with that. So this is actually going to tuck into the envelope at the top, like that. Well, we're going to cut the edges off, obviously, so it does fit. But that's it. That'll go there. So that's a flap. Now you've got choices now. I don't really want to do anything with the front. I mean, I'm going to ink it and stitch it and whatever. But when you flap it up like that, you can leave it just as a thin flap, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it. It looks pretty, and that's pretty much all you want to do with it. Just have it looking nice. Or you can line it with the cream paper, so you've got a journaling spot. Or you can line it with another picture. or more text that's the right way up, because this is the wrong way up, you see. So that's what I did here. I actually put cream card down, then I put text inside. But it's entirely up to you. I think it would be much more useful if it was journaling, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do is use the cream card, because I do think that would be altogether more useful. So I'm just going to snip this into the where we've scored it there, and this one.
Just Edith said me and you were on Sophia's show and tell on Friday. Seems like it was a hit.
Oh my goodness me. So I'm just trying it again, just to make sure it's right, and it's right. So I'm going to put that onto some cream card. Not the flappy bit, it doesn't need it, so just like that. Obviously I'm not sticking the blue tit side down, don't be silly. And then I think we've got some journaling, which makes it, to my mind, altogether more useful. Otherwise it's just a pretty flap, isn't it? Nothing wrong with a pretty flap, but might as well make use of it. There we go. Right, so I don't want the flappy bit to have cream on it. I'll just make it too thick. So just pull that up to where it wants to go, like that. Stick it down, and that will be our flap. Give that a second, or I'll have a mouthful of.
Apparently she did a PowerPoint presentation.
That child. Sophia, you are such a clever girl. You really are. I'm not just saying that, you really are. And I'll tell you, another little clever girl is Chloe, Kerry's granddaughter. She does digitals and everything, which I know you will do in time. You could do them now if you had the stuff, Sophia, I know. But Chloe is a really clever girl, and my goodness, Sophia, so are you. We're so lucky to have you both with us. Right, so let's go down here. I think I might have just missed the edge there. Just not quite square. My crafting's not brilliant today. Well, it wasn't too bad this morning, but it's pretty much a crock this afternoon. I don't want to waste these blue tits because they're just so nice. But I kind of like that about just doing section by section. It's going to force me into using my favourite pages like the blue tits. Whereas if I had the whole book at one time, you know, all the good ones would get left, and you know what it's like. Right, so there we go. That's that. Now, I do have these, as I said, the cold tit, the great tit and the blue tits, which I could stick on. Or I could just include them for somebody else to stick on. Right, so this is going to go into here. Oh no, I need to sew it and ink it first. Let's just test this. Does this work? Yeah, that works. That works well. Finally. Finally, so it's working. So yeah, if I've added one thing to your list today, your shopping list, I hope it's frayed burlap. It's the colour, I'm telling you. Even vintage photo, you know, sometimes when you see it, it's quite orangey. It definitely has an orange undertone to it. There we go. So I'm just going to scoop round here. Oh my goodness, the time. The time just disappears on a Sunday, doesn't it? So I'm just going to fold that over and do that.
Yeah, John says she's just added it to a list.
And I'm just going to sew around there, hopefully quickly and painlessly. So I'm not altogether sure this glue is dry, so do as I say, not as I do, as you don't want to get all your underneath all gunked up with glue. Definitely not. That's one stitch too far. So don't forget about Kyung's Christmas party, which is on the 22nd. What day is that, Mr. F?
Thursday, I think. Thursday.
And I think we're all invited, and it's gonna be a riot. There's all sorts of videos going to be shown through the day, and Kyung will be there on chat to talk us through it, what's happening at various times. Mr. F, I know for one, is doing a video for it. I might, if I ever get my head straight enough to do it. The stitching's horrendous. Right, so I can just stick that in now. So I'm just going to put some glue on there. Yeah, Mr. F's been getting his project ready this morning for his video. It's going to be nice. I am going to help him with it, so maybe I can just say that. I'll help Mr. F. Let's push that down to where it wants to go. There we go. So that's our flap in place. And we've still managed to retain the pocket in there for a big tag at the back, and that will just flap over there like that and keep it shut. Ingenious. Excuse me.
Louise says, where will you find the Christmas party?
Kyung, can you do the honours, please?
Yeah, you can't put links.
Oh, you can't put links?
No.
Well, can you put Kyung's YouTube? Well, it's Kyung Shotwell at YouTube, on YouTube.
Is that what it's called?
Kyung Shotwell.
Kyung Shotwell.
Yeah. Right, so we're down now to just the journaling cards. That's really nice. That's just got to be used, hasn't it? I would have thought so. So I want it to come to about there. Oh, I don't know which side I like the best. Probably that side, you know. Yeah, so I want it to come to about there and about there. So let's cut that off. I have to cut it that way because the other end isn't straight. I'm going to cut this. That's 3 1/2. I'm going to cut it at 3 1/4. just see again where that needed to go. I don't know which I like the best. I think that one maybe. So I'm going to put that there. Right, so that needs backing and stitching and inking and all that sort of thing. So that goes right at the back, like that. So then I need a one for the little envelope part of it, the bit where the envelope, we split the envelope right at the beginning, there, in there. So I want that to be not quite so tall as that, and maybe not quite so wide. So I've got this, which is looking perfect. It says crab apple as well down at the bottom, which I really like that. But if I do that, I'm going to miss the crab apple. So this just needs the edge trimming off. It's rough where it's come out of the book. Too long to fit into my trimmer otherwise. So that's about 2.5, a touch over 2.5, 2 5/8, something like that. And there we go. Sometimes my trimmer doesn't like to trim when it's so near the edge. So that's going to go into there. No, I want to have the crab apple, so I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to cut that about there and then cut it about there, and that should be okay. That would be our other little journaling card. Where's the mark? These are not definitive measurements, just cut where you think looks good. There we go. So that's going to go into the front part of that, into there. So that's my two of those tags. And then what do I need? I need a big tag to go into the back here. So I need to find me some big people. What's in the middle of that? No, nothing. Oh, I've got catkins. Catkins! I could use the catkins. Or I've got that, which is also catkins. That's willow catkins. And this is hazelnut catkins. I prefer the hazelnut catkins. Yeah, let's use the hazelnut catkins. Just tear it down. It's going to be fun tidying up, isn't it? So let's leave the word on the bottom, the words on the bottom, and I'm going to tidy that edge up because it's untidy, and I'm going to cut it just at the end of the word there, like that. So that'll fit in nicely, and I want it to measure 3/4 of an inch more than the thing, so about there. Right, let's do that. Cut that there. That there. And then I just want to get rid of that raggedy edge. That there. Another lovely journaling card there. That is scrap, however, as is that. So let's just test this theory. That goes in there and it sticks out. Yes, yes, it's all coming together, finally. So I'm going to mount this onto my cream card, which I think is sturdy enough to go into the project I'm putting it into. I think the card would just be a bit heavy for it, and it would make it too thick. So you just have to weigh up where it's going to go, really. I'll just use this glue for it because it dries quicker. Well, there's cricket on at the moment. There's also darts, both of which we like a lot. There's just so much. We haven't got enough hours of the day, really, or enough eyes. But it's good anyway. We've got plenty to watch. And if we store some up for over Christmas, it's so much the better, because usually the telly goes rubbish over Christmas, doesn't it? Puts all sorts of programmes on we don't want to watch. There we go, I'll just give that a second to dry. Wipe my fingers, which are absolutely full of glue. Have a mouthful of coffee and see what you're saying. You'll love it, Keong. You'll just love it. Yeah, Catkins. I know, it's good, isn't it? Right, what have we got to do now?
Drop coffee in the top corner of that.
I've dropped coffee.
On your top, the one you've just picked up there, and the one there, where your finger is. The dot.
Oh yeah, coffee stained. It's coffee stained, quite literally. Oh dear. Right, so I want to back these as well. I thought I had backed them, but I haven't. I can get away with that one. No, let's get a new piece of paper out. Oh, I've got some here. Pop that one onto there. So hopefully if you're doing this, you won't be under a time pressure. You won't be, I don't know, as jittery as I am today. I don't know why that is. And your stitching will be straight. That's what I wish you for Christmas, straight stitching. So let's pop this one on. I thought I'd already backed these. I'm afraid I didn't. So that's one bit. That's my other bit, isn't it? And there's not room for that there, is there? No. So, oh, hang on, what's this? Another bit. That'll do. So, we're making progress now though. There we go. So just need to let them dry a little bit, but the first one will be dry now, so I can start on it. I prefer to stick my stuff on and then cut it out, because even if you measure it and then you put them together, they're never the same. I don't know why that is. It's because measuring isn't accurate, that's why it is. There's just a little bit up here that needs a trim. So it's just easier to stick it on and then cut it out. So it's ink around there. Oh, I want to do the corners. It's just a big card not to have the corners done, so I'm just going to use a 1/4 inch rounder. I'll go ink around that. Yeah, I believe that Keong's husband is going to make, I'm not sure if he's making cookies or if he's icing cookies, I can't remember now what she said. But it all sounds like a really good day. And I'm not sure what the times are, you know, when it's going to start and when it's going to stop. But I think she's got enough film to pretty much last all day, which is amazing. She is wonderful, Keon. She's a very giving person. There we go. Right, I'm going to stitch around this and leave the others to dry a little minute. Yeah, that's the problem with putting corners in. You've sort of got to go around them. Oh, stop. Where are you going? Might have to make new tags for this actually, because these are a disgrace. Yeah, I mean, they are a disgrace, so I'm afraid that I might have to make new ones, but just to let you know what it looks like. Anyway, I can cut these down and sew around them, not for this project, but for another project. This is the one that goes in the back, so that goes there, like that. Lovely. And then we've got...
Tammy would like to know what type of needle you use.
A universal, size 12.
Louise said, could the corners be done after the stitching?
I don't know, I stitched quite close to the edge. But if you didn't stitch quite so close to the edge, I think you probably could. So I'm just going to round these corners off. I've given up on stitching now because it's not working when you're watching. It's just not working. So rather than waste Edith, I'll do them when you're not looking. There we go. So that goes in the back, in the very back. I can ink around it. I can trust myself to ink around it, I think.
Nothing wrong with the stitching, I can see.
It's not good. But thank you. Eh?
It's good enough.
It's difficult when you have high expectations of yourself. Well, when you know you can do better, I think.
Something I've never suffered from.
I have high expectations of you. See, like this morning you found my die, didn't you? My missing die. Which was very nice of you. Right, so I'm going to, that goes in that way. I'll go right in the back. Like that. This one then. Goes there. Let's just check. We haven't got any bits we shouldn't have. There we are. Let's take the corners off this. I see a lot of people complaining about these corner chompers, saying they don't cut and they break easily. I must say I haven't found that at all. I really like mine. Ink around here. So yeah, you see this piece that's now blank. That's a really good journaling spot. Get some proper journaling done there. Right, so that piece then goes in the front of that envelope piece there. So that's it. That's the 2 journaling cards in there. The little one in there. The larger one with the catch on it in there. Then we've got this that comes down, that's got journaling on the back, comes down like that, and this just kind of locks it in place like that. And then we've got the big journaling card at the back like that. So if you wanted to give it to someone as a rack or whatever, just cover the back up with whatever it is, whatever pattern paper you're using, and there you have it. You've got yourself a really nice little rack to send to someone. If, however, you want to put it in your journal, then just stick it down. Stick the entire back piece down, because this is in the envelope. It's not on the back. See? It's in the envelope. It's clever, isn't it? So you can just stick that, all of that down into your journal. Like that. So finally, I know there's 2 pieces in there that I haven't sewn. I'm aware of that. I've bottled it, all right? I've chickened out. But that is day 1 of let's use an entire Edith Holden book to make ephemera. Let me just take these away. Put them up there on the book. Oh, let's get that one out as well. Let's put these in the collage bin, although some of them are suitable for other projects, but we'll put them all in the cut or offcuts bin. That's probably nearer the mark. So there we go. That's our 2. That needs to just, you see, that was what I didn't do. I didn't cut that thumb hole, but I think it works equally well. So there are our pieces, our 2, I don't know what to call them, secret pockets, hidden pockets, I don't know, but that's them. And we also have a pocket to put in our journal, which I really like. So there we go, 4 pieces. Admittedly, that and that, no, just that and that, wasn't it, were made out of not the book that we're gutting to make the ephemera with. But you get the picture. Well, I hope you get the picture. And I will be dipping into this, in and out of it, through, you know, the videos that I do through the week. But I also want to carry on with the how-tos as well. So I'm not sure if there'll be a video tomorrow, but on Tuesday, well, the next video that I make, be it Monday or Tuesday, will be a how-to video. How to do something. I don't know what yet. You've all come up with some fabulous suggestions. So, yeah, it'll be a how-to. So there you go. 4 pieces for you. So, just over 2 hours. It doesn't matter what I do, it's 2 hours. Yeah, the big one and the handheld one. Yeah, lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Scrap. You did tell me what her name was.
Dolly.
Dolly. How can I forget your name? It's such a good name, Dolly. Oh, thanks, Keong. Thanks, Jilly. Thanks, Judy. Yeah, how to sew straight. Dolly, really. Okay. Let's say goodbye at that then. Let's thank you all very much for joining in. I've enjoyed it, although it does seem to have been a bit of a trial today. But I'll see you through the week with some videos when we'll be doing some more groovy stuff.
And Rhoda says the little blue tits are the stars of the show.
They are indeed the stars of the show. They absolutely are. I love them. I mean, this goldfinch, he gets overlooked quite a lot, but the blue tits, I don't think I've ever used them in a project that was so fitting for them. You know, real front and central. So thanks, guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of those you love. And remember to be kind. Bye, Sophia. Bye, Sophia. And bye, Chloe, if you're watching. I'm not sure you will be watching live because I think you'll be asleep, I hope. But I'll see you all through the week. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Be safe, be happy, take care, be kind. Bye.
Bye.